Hi, I'm thrilled to be your host today, especially because we've got breaking news that's shaking up the streets of Dolton, Illinois. And trust me, it's the kind of drama that feels straight out of a political thriller. It all started back in May 2021 when the village of Dolton made history. They proudly elected Tiffany Henyard, a young black female mayor with bold promises. She came in like a wave of fresh air, talking about change, empowerment, and bringing a new kind of leadership to a town where over 90% of the population is African American. People were hopeful. They believed. They showed up for her. But fast, forward a few years, and that hopeful narrative took a dark turn. Instead of rolling up her sleeves and getting to work, Tiffany Henyard started making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Critics say she went on what looked like a taxpayer-funded shopping spree, buying everything from luxury weaves and candles to sandals and even pot handles. That's right. While residents were facing real issues, their mayor was allegedly spending public money like it was her personal piggy bank. But it wasn't just the spending. Henyard developed a reputation for being combative with anyone who dared question her. Videos surfaced of her snapping at residents during town meetings, accusing them of being traitors to their own race. "Y'all should be ashamed of y'all. Selves!" she shouted, pointing fingers. "Y'all black, and y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's empowered." But the blame game didn't stop the pressure from mounting. The investigations kept coming. So did the backlash. Now, the tables have officially turned. In a dramatic shift, Dolton has sworn in a new leader. Jason House is now the official mayor of Dolton, replacing Henyard after months of controversy, public outrage, and behind-the-scenes political maneuvering. And let me tell you, this wasn't some quiet change. The energy in that room was electric. Community members packed City Hall for the swearing-in ceremony, some even spilling outside to witness what many called the beginning of a new chapter. As House placed his hand on the Bible and took the oath, a wave of applause rippled through the crowd. "I do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution and serve this community with integrity," he said. And in that moment, people felt something they hadn't in a long time: hope. One local resident put it best: "We watched our tiny little village become a world movement." The story of Dolton spread far beyond Illinois, making national headlines, sparking investigations and rallying communities that saw themselves in the struggle. Now, under Mayor Jason House, the focus is shifting to transparency, accountability, and cleaning up the mess that's been left behind. And judging by the massive turnout and emotional support, the people are more than ready to rebuild. The question now is, can Jason House deliver where Henyard failed? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: Dolton is wide awake and they're not playing anymore. Meanwhile, as Dolton moves forward, Tiffany Henyard has taken a sharp detour, straight to Facebook. Instead of addressing the mess she left behind or offering any kind of public accountability, she's busy posting random selfies and inspirational quotes, acting like none of this ever happened. The mayor, who once strutted around with a $347,000 salary, more than the governor of Illinois, is now making exactly $0. That's right, nothing. The luxury lifestyle is gone, and so is the power that came with it. And let's be honest, she didn't save a dime. That's the thing about people who come into power with the wrong intentions. When it's gone, they've got nothing to fall back on. No legacy, no respect, no financial cushion. From the top to rock bottom, that's how quickly life can flip when you misuse public trust. Now, while Henyard was out there living large, there were real leaders behind the scenes doing the quiet work. Major shout out to brothers Edward Steve and Jason House. These are the kind of men who step up not for clout, but because their people need them. And here's the part that might shock you. Jason House didn't even want the job. He could have taken it 4 years ago when it was first offered, but instead he stayed in the background, helping the community without headlines or cameras. It wasn't until the situation in Dolton became unbearable, after the scandals, the backlash, the financial chaos, that House finally said, "Enough is enough." And for that, Dolton owes him more than a round of applause. They owe him gratitude. Because real leadership doesn't always show up in fancy suits or viral TikToks. Sometimes it walks in quietly, rolls up its sleeves, and gets to work. Now, of course, there are still folks trying to spin this story. You hear it everywhere. Y'all just didn't want to give a black woman a chance. But let's keep it real. Being a black woman, or a black man, or a single mom might get you through the door. That's identity. But what keeps you in the room is integrity, discipline, and a commitment to the people. You still have to do the work. You still have to serve with honesty. In fact, in communities like Dolton, Atlanta, Jackson, or Montgomery, being black often works in your favor. These are cities where our people fought to open doors for future generations. These are places filled with potential, and we can't afford to waste it. I'm from Sacramento, California. And unless you're living in places like LA or Oakland, opportunities are hard to come by. That's why so many of us dream of moving to cities like Detroit, St. Louis, or Atlanta, places where black leadership can make a real difference. But then some folks get that power and fumble it like it's nothing. We've got to do better. We've got to respect the positions we're given and honor the people who believe in us. Because if we don't, we'll keep repeating the same cycles. And our communities deserve more than that. Because at the end of the day, this story is bigger than just one mayor. It's not just about Tiffany Henyard. It's about what any of us choose to do when we're given the chance to lead. When people trust you, believe in you, and give you their vote, that's a sacred responsibility. It's not a ticket to ball out, treat folks like dirt, and flex like you're untouchable. It's a moment to rise, not just for yourself, but to lift up the entire community. That's real leadership. Anything less? That's betrayal. Let this whole situation serve as a lesson, not just to Dolton, but to every town, every city, every neighborhood that dares to hope. When you place your faith in someone new, watch what they do with it. Because if they abuse it, manipulate it, or use it for selfish gain, you'll end up just like Tiffany Henyard, out of office, out of power, and out of excuses. Stripped of the title, stripped of the money, and left with nothing but Facebook posts and memories. The truth is, doing right by your people can bless you beyond imagination. It can retire you. It can elevate you higher than you ever dreamed, if you stay grounded, if you keep humility close, if you remember that leadership is about service, not status. But the moment you start thinking you're better than the very people who helped you rise, that's when the decline begins. That's when the spotlight turns sour. That's when the foundation cracks beneath your feet. And before you know it, your whole world flips. That corner office? Gone. The respect? Gone. The money? Vanished. The clout? A memory. And now you're broke, alone, and wondering what happened. Speaking of which, let's talk about Kamal Woods. Yeah, that Kamal. The married man Tiffany allegedly plucked right from his wife's arms. Back when the money was flowing, everything looked cute. Trips, gifts, attention, affection. But now that the salary's gone and the financial faucet's shut off, let's just say the vibe's different. What do you think Kamal's gonna do now? Sit around and be broke with her? Lay up in the dark eating ramen noodles on the couch? Absolutely not. That man is packing his bags faster than a TikTok trend fades. Because let's be honest, he was never really there for her. He was there for the lifestyle, for the perks, for the dollar signs. Truth is, she probably had to pay him just to clap those cheeks. And now that the ATM's closed, so is his interest. He's ghosting her like Houdini at a magic show. You see, when the power goes, the parasites disappear too. And now Tiffany's not just out of a job, she's out of a man, out of support, and out of time. It's a harsh fall, but it's one she created with her own hands. And that's what happens when you treat leadership like a hustle instead of a mission.